for Homeboys. If they can win another game, they will send Blacklist home. So let's get straight into the Land of Dawn. Go big or go home.
Warlord back on a mage, no longer a roamer flex. Meanwhile, down below, wow. Rizal winning a big trade against Owl. Taken down to so low and now zoned away from the minions.
What is regeneration cancelled as well? Looking at the spells though, that's a Purify in the hands of the Novaria. Bit of a rare option here, considering that she's a lot more mobile, a lot safer than other heroes. I wonder which exact. I think it's to counter the Guinevere for the most part, because the Terizla you can kind of deal with a sprint or a flicker. That's where we are right here. I think Warlord seems to think that he's going to be the main target. Considering that Rizal can outplay, can be immune, that is definitely the right assumption.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it even before we got into the Land of Dawn, right? I was like, Blacklist's draft is disgustingly gross with CC. And the fact that Warlord has chosen to respect it, I think it was a good choice. I mean, you never know when it's coming. I mean, look at this. Rindo already going in Havoc, wreaking Havoc onto Zorn. He's able to kind of get out of that situation, but look at the damage already being dealt onto him.
Yeah, he has to respect this damage here. It's going to be Zorn who actually picks up the cult buff. Take it away from Blacklist International. Zorn with the signature recalls, the tas, as Chibi rotates up top as well. Usually we see that Homeboys are able to just utilize this early pressure to help the XP lane get to Prio. But now they focus on the turtle first. The Astral Echo reveals where Rindo is, and Zorn just jumps in with a vengeance. Now knocks out the Spatial Migration and the Violent Requiem. Chain CC'd and taken out. First blood taken away. Blacklist, though, have used a good amount of resources to take Zorn down, and Homeboys will just say, sure, take Zorn, we'll take the turtle.
For that 1-for-1 trade, who was it worth it for?
I think it's still worth it for Homeboys. They want to snowball, they want to get resources that are shared among the whole team. And trading Zorn, the roamer here, I don't think it's that big of a deal for them. I'm concerned about how this mid-game is going to play out, though, because earlier, it's all about the Yuzong making things happen for them. Now against the Terizla, it's not the same kind of matchup. So there's a chance that Dominic could have a lot more to do in this game. And Zorn misses the stun, but look at Chibi.
He's coming in, gives him the reset. Spatial Migration connecting onto Chibi just to disengage for now as Rindo keeps on going. Whoa. Even the Requiem committed in Chibi. Now got the Holy Baptism, a final slash, bringing Haji back, but it doesn't matter. The machine just pops the black shoes as Rindo chases Zorn all the way. What a commitment by Blacklist.
I wonder what was the idea there for Chibi, man. He was going in so deep without anything really straightforward available. But now Zorn goes at the bottom side, forces Owl to try and do something here.
Yeah, Owl is not having a good lane. I mean, he's getting severely punished along with the ganks as well. He needs to find a way to able to survive the laning phase and ultimately give the impact that he was meant to. But for the most part, Blacklists are actually the ones to gain control in this early game with a 1k gold lead. It is still shifting back and forth by just a bit. But I guess the idea was, I think just Chibi just flat out disrespected how much damage that a Guinevere could output.
Yep. Rindo is doing really well right here. Earlier, we saw that the Baxia with the follow-up has been able to really shut down the jungle, deny pigs, but look at Chibi!
A Baptism, a Requiem, and everything. Chibi taken out. No hard guard to play with in game number 2. And therefore, Chibi is so much more vulnerable.
That's a bit dangerous right here, because it's a 1k gold lead for now. Maybe you're thinking, all right, it's the jungle and the roamer. We're still pretty okay. The gold lane, the EXP lane is doing fine. But that's always how it goes initially, right? Later on, it's where that influence really bleeds over into those lanes. If they want to make sure that Rizal and Supat stays relevant, they got to try and mitigate the damage in the mid lane right here first.
And even in the mid lane, they're actually giving over the gold to Claude. They're giving it over to Owl and giving that top side as well to Owl, hoping that despite being a little bit behind in that laning phase, that he could actually equally catch up, and that's dangerous because for Homeboys, I think that's their only saving grace for the moment, Rizal. But if he gets caught behind Owl, then what do Homeboys play with?
Well, remember what we were talking about in game number 1, what Blacklist need to do better. Anti-disaster protocol. That's what they're doing right now. They are just trading on the map. If Homeboys want to go for neutral objectives, they'll go for pickoffs, they'll go for turrets, and they'll avoid fights unless they just commit right here. Penalties connecting only on the Chibi. Owl forced to use the Purify. Rindo cancelled out. No Violent Requiem used up just yet. He has to run away as Rizal chases him down. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Supat is pushing as well. They get a turret in the bottom lane. Rindo gets chunked very, very low, but BLACKLIST might be able to still look for more. Look at Rizal, still in that bush. Looking for a play, needs to walk back. Spatial migration, gonna be able to connect with it. Violet, Requiem, and Haji connects onto it. One more weakness point. Oh, Rizal, the targeting isn't correct. Owl punishes him. He wasn't able to get the last weakness point, and it is BLACKLIST International with a big W.
It was off a millisecond. That was so close for him to be able to outplay that entire situation, but unfortunately with him getting taken down, Rizal now with a 0-1-0 KDA, he's actually fallen behind the Claude. And this is what I was really afraid of for HOMEBOIS.
600 gold, but hey, get another play.
Chibi buying a lot of time, but I don't think you're going to be able to survive a 1v4 no matter how tanky you are with no hard guard. BLACKLIST have punished Chibi now for the third time this game.
Warlock should try to clear the wave as much as possible. It's a valid strategy, but I feel like now Chibi is starting to fall off. If HOMEBOIS expect to still be able to contest the mutual objectives later on, you gotta try and fix this, man. Chibi is still keeping up in levels due to the superior clear, despite the difference in 3 kills, 3 assists from Rindo. So the turtle can still be contested, but it depends on how this plays out. And oh, Rindo goes in.
Spatial migration, Violet, Requiem, Rindo always commits. The penalty zone is going to be used up by Dominic, but it's not going to hit actually. Suppot runs away still. Oh, the turtle saves his life, not for long though. Dominic chases forward, finds the kill. And HOMEBOIS secure all 3 of the neutral objectives, but BLACKLIST comes out with a win. Rindo again, baiting out that second skill of Rizal. Wow, Rindo is super aggressive this game, but it pays off.
He's angry, man, and now Zorn is caught in a very tough position. 3v1, can Zorn make it out alive?
Quicker out, Dominic still chasing. It's a lot of damage, but Zorn still will be able to get out with that vengeance to the minion wave in the bottom lane.
This feels like HOMEBOIS, especially Chibi and Zorn, they're committing, well, due to the nature of their heroes, they are forced to commit when there's no one around. And I feel like that could be avoided, you know? They could move together. And then when everyone is piling on all the damage to eventually take Chibi out, then maybe HOMEBOIS can look for something extra. The same can be said about Zorn. But so far, that's not the case, man. When they get in range to even impact the situation, Zorn or Chibi have already been taken out. So it's a bit like what BLACKLIST was experiencing in Game 1.
And the fact is, they're adapting to it really well, right? BLACKLIST not completely committing onto the neutral objectives, letting it completely slide over to HOMEBOIS, but on the other hand, they've gotten 7 kills so far. That has actually given them the 2,500, 600 gold lead. And with the enhance in gold, they should have a little bit more to say in this next neutral objective, despite Rindo and Chibi both at level 11.
Yeah, the fact that Chibi is keeping up in levels is already quite impressive, but I feel like especially for the next fight right here, Rindo will have a level advantage. And I'm waiting for the time where HOMEBOIS shift their focus from going for the objective, technically trying to sneak it and steal it away from BLACKLIST, to maybe winning the fight. Because that seems to be what you expect from this aggressive, hyper HOMEBOIS team, but it hasn't really been happening. They've been the ones trading. It's like they're the ones in damage control.
BLACKLIST have downloaded the schematics of Game 1 HOMEBOIS and now are basically countering every little mistake they do, making them make mistakes. Chibi, again, this time, same level as Rindo, despite the 3 deaths. Only healing coming down. They're looking for a fight right now, as that's going to be Rindo jumping with the spatial migration, not able to connect forward. Now the baptism connects on the 2 though. Rizal rotating in, a petrify, and a final splash, and Dominic gets a massive penalty zone. Keep Boy flickers out of the crossbow. Tang, Owl still able to outplay, 1 HP. Sword walking forward, Owl dodges, slick maneuvers. Happy feet by Owl, gets him out. Haji now going to be the target of Rizal's onslaught of damage, gets 1 kill. HOMEBOIS are on the board with a shutdown picked up by Rizal.
But it's still BLACKLIST that's able to secure that Lord. Rizal's the only one left standing here in a 1v1 with Dominic in the mid lane. It looks like he's going to be able to zone Dominic away and clear that lane, but that's a Lord marching in favor of BLACKLIST International.
It's unfortunate for HOMEBOIS there. There's a bunch of mistakes. Like, let's take a look at instant replay. As we say that earlier, they all go in right here, and it seems like the focus is split between the Lord and Owl. You can see that Suppot and Zorn particularly are trying their best to try and shut Zorn down. But Rizal here gets his crossbow of time negated. And then afterwards, I think Zorn also missed another stun. It could have really resulted in more kills for them.
Oh man, that was so. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was a Petrified Furious dive that Sapat got on Owl. Zorn final slashed Owl out of it, and that's what created a chance for Owl to make an outplay. You make a mistake like that, and BLACKLIST are the type of team to really just fully commit and punish those big mistakes or small ones. Zorn getting a few good hits on the Rindo, the penalty zone, and the Valor Requiem is used in unison. Rindo very low, chased down by Rizo right now. The final slash also connecting to the back with a good shutdown in. The crossbow tank still held down. Meanwhile, on the back, that's another dive attempt from Sapat, who's going to lose his life. 2 for 1.
In favor of the HOMEBOIS. The HOMEBOIS slowly but surely getting the trades back into their pockets. BLACKLIST International initially had a huge gold lead, now driven down to 3K. But with 2 members taken down, what can HOMEBOIS utilize it towards? What can they get in favor of it? There's not a lot of objectives on the board. No towers to push as well. I guess the only thing that they can do is now Rizel pushing down in the bottom lane, hoping to get a little bit of pressure onto that bottom side turret.
The straightforward answer was try and get some more kills. They like to snowball, they can try and do that when the death timers are irregular from BLACKLIST International. For now though, they're just waiting yet again, waiting for the next objective. And it seems like right now, it's all about how cleanly BLACKLIST can execute. If they don't get a guaranteed fast winning team fight, then HOMEBOIS, they can just catch up. Again, it's the exact opposite, like in game number 1. BLACKLIST were the ones that can really chase and catch up. Now HOMEBOIS can really do that as well, especially with Rizo. Is a lot faster, keeping up with Chibi and Sapat, even though one's rolling and the other one's flying around as a dragon.
So how do they go about this, right? Because 14 seconds are left for the next visual objective to spawn. Here, Rindo and Chibi are at equal level. So obviously both teams want to make things uneven. Does HOMEBOIS want to look for a pick-off first, or do they just want to go straight in, try to utilize the Black Dragon form to zone them out?
Now they're going to be another Rizo. Rizo goes in.
Valor Requiem with a spatial migration. Furious dive and a final slash to the back. Game Boy running away. Sapat with the Black Dragon form. Now bursted down. Still able to sustain with the passive. Brilliantly done, but now gets locked down in the penalty zone of Dominic and gets taken out by the machine. Haji. 1-4-0. It's BLACKLIST with a one-man advantage, but HOMEBOIS still with Rizo with a crossbow of Tang ready. Owl walks up. Pops that BMI. Going back. Dominic trying to zone Rizel away. Zorn going to be chunked down. The baptism connecting as well. That's a lot of damage placed down. Dominic, one more weakness point, but Rizel will not go all into that just for now. BLACKLIST play the long game with the advantage. Board dance.
And they can do that because they have the sustainability coming in. Oh! Owl!
Blazing duet, but it's a good snipe down with the Astral Meteor and the Sphere. Chibi will lose his life though. It's a 1-for-1. The goal laner down. The main source of damage gone. Forward aside of BLACKLIST. Rizel marching forward. One more hit. That's Haji who buys the time. The Requiem comes in, and it's Haji, the machine, who secures the Lord for the team. But now they're on the run from Zorn and Rizel. Zorn with a vengeance, walking forward. That's a good stun onto Kim Point with Rizel finally getting the weakness points, but it is not going to be a crossbow of Tank. Just a quick kill. HOMEBOIS trying to deal with the Lord wave up top, but there is a wave crashing down to the base turret that will be dealt with by Warlord as well.
How close was that, and what an entire chain of events that it led up to. A 2-for-1 trade. BLACKLIST International lose their important members, especially that first snipe coming in onto Owl to take him away out of the team fight was a golden moment for the HOMEBOIS. But unfortunately, Chibi was taken out, and so Haji was the one to be able to secure the Lord.
It was so dangerous. I mean, both teams, of course, Rizel was just late to the fight, man. He was in the fight. He was late because he was clearing the bottom side. He joined, and they cleared the mid lane, and then the fight happened again. So BLACKLIST are kind of stutter-stepping, making HOMEBOIS think, oh, it's beginning. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's beginning again. And because of that, they're not as coordinated, because you can see in a full-on proper fight, BLACKLIST do not have an easy solution to deal with Rizel. He has been dangerously aggressive, moving forwards. He has the Wind of Nature right now, but he doesn't really have a magic damage solution. So Haji and Rindo pose a very legitimate threat to his safety.
He's basically just like swimming around them, dancing around them at that point, right? And nobody's been able to lock Rizel down, but as soon as they find a answer towards Rizel, that's it for the HOMEBOIS. I think he's the only one that's been able to push through and make HOMEBOIS still relevant up until this point.
By the way, BLACKLIST, the way you're approaching these fights, especially when Ryzel is included, they never just jump on him. They always try and get some damage in and back away. In that engagement, Owl was consistently BMIing a bit forward, hitting him with some spells, one basic attack, and then backing away immediately before some damage can be traded back. They're trying to avoid an all-in, knowing that perhaps in a longer duration all-in, without the blazing duet, Owl can't really match up to Ryzel in the damage output department.
And on top of that, right, in these long-drawn fights, I think we've seen this a lot from compositions with healers, that they can play that. They can play the endurance game because they have what it takes. They have Team Point on the Rafaela. So even if they do trade it like this, they use their range and they start poking one another, Rafaela will completely negate that particular strategy because of the healing.
Well, for now, with 20 seconds to go, both teams just having a lot of attention on the bottom side of the map. The BLACKLIST are the ones initially trying to make a play right here. 10 seconds before, they're trying to set up the wave with Dominic. Just in case, waiting around to ensure that Owl doesn't get picked off. They don't clear it completely though. They're setting it up for a slow push, but Ryzel reads it through. Now with the Lord up, will BLACKLIST force HOMEBOIS into a big fight where Ryzel is once again late? Won't be available.
Rose Gold Meteor built up by Ryzel. Ryzel's going to be an issue, man, a problem. BLACKLIST needs to find a solution quick to this Ryzel problem that is growing. Now with the Rose Gold Meteor, even their magic damage carries. Oh, it's a full dive by Subpot. With the Black Dragon form, they want to try to burst the Lord as fast as possible. The final smash brings Dominic back right now to a stun. Dominic with penalty zone, connecting on the two. Ryzel going to be dealt with. Owl finds the kill, a combo, and the Black Dragon form used up. Rindo finds it. GB now in the midst of it all, using the shield unity to run down, but Owl takes another. It's Warlord on top of Ryzel. A double kill, a triple for Owl.
Absolute disaster for HOMEBOIS, and add Chibi to the mix. He's getting beat up by Rindo. What was that, man? The gold inner done. 3 members down, 4 maybe. It's a single man defense by Subpot. It might be the end.
We're going to see a game 3, ladies and gentlemen. Only Chibi left to defend, but look where he's at. All the way to enemy purple buff. 1 cannon minion will be enough. BLACKLIST International will force this series out to a